sweetheart, let it out!
I definitely prefer this one over what my C2 had. You can't get a Staccato P and treat it like it's a Glock. I have to evaluate and be realistic with our viewers. Chances are you're going to run into some malfunctions. Now I think these are sufficient, however I just wish personally that they were a little bit larger. Well, throughout this review, you're probably going to hear me go like this a whole bunch. Mostly because the Staccato P is a very smooth operating 2011 design. The 2011 and Staccato, formerly STI, is a fantastic pistol. These things came out to the market a little while ago now at this point. I owned a C2 in the past. If you didn't see our review, that was probably 3 or 4 years ago for us almost now at this point, and that pistol was fantastic. In fact, I actually carried that pistol for a while. Never got the Staccato P, and now we have one here to review for you. And I really think that you're going to enjoy this because for us, I have to evaluate and be realistic with our viewers. I have to help you determine whether or not you should spend your hard-earned dollar on something as expensive as a Staccato P. But more importantly, if you're new here, what I need you to do is I need you to subscribe to the channel. I need you to make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you've been here for a while. I need you to like, comment, share this video with everybody you know because it helps push the video algorithms and helps this video get shown to people and spread that 2A message. But let's get into some of the features of the Staccato P. This Staccato P has the grip module, which has more like a stippled or sandpaper type texture on there. They have a different model that you can also get that has more like a star pattern or the Staccato star logo. I definitely prefer this one over what my C2 had. In addition to that, the P model here has a very nice magwell on here. With the STI or Staccato magazines, these are the Gen 3, so you are going to get two 20 rounders and one 17 round magazine. They fit very well on there. They release nicely, and in fact, I really love the 20 rounders because of how those 20 rounders fit in there and index well with that magwell. It's very smooth, and frankly, these pistols I think could truly be summed up as a duty gun that runs like a race gun, and on top of all that has been proven to be a very reliable duty gun. With that being said though, you can't get a Staccato P and treat it like it's a Glock. Will it run for a very long time without cleaning? Yes, it will. Does it need lube? Yes, it does. If you're going to take a Glock out of the box, shoot 1,000 rounds through it and never lube it, it will probably be absolutely flawless. If you attempt to do that with a Staccato with no lube on it whatsoever, chances are you're going to run into some malfunctions. That's not an issue with these pistols. It's just the fact you have way more surfaces in here that allows this thing to ride smoothly on the slide to frame. The tolerances are tighter, and in general, this is more of a precision machined pistol. Speaking of machining, the slide serrations up here, they are good, they're aggressive, and they're honed. They feel really nice, and frankly, they're some of the nicest slide serrations of any 2011 out there based for the duty market. Now getting into the slide to frame fit. Now with these things here, if you're unfamiliar, there is no wobble or wiggle in them whatsoever. They're extremely tight and it rolls across there almost like it's on ball bearings. Now the barrel on here is going to be a bushingless bull barrel. The guide rod on here is going to be a toolless guide rod, which is very easy to take down. And in fact, that one I had on my C2 was easy as well. There's no issues. If you're somebody that thinks it's hard to take down a 1911, a little bit of practice, and frankly, you can tear one down just as quickly as you could do any Glock or SIG out there. Now, the trigger on here, single action trigger, is really good. A little bit of take up in there and about a 4 to 4.5 pound trigger. You hit a very crisp and defined wall with no creep. Reset, really short, you know, and again, it's nice because that take up is very smooth. There's no grit in this thing whatsoever, and that's probably one of the best parts. It just feels good. Now the safeties have good detents. I do wish the safety levers on here were a little bit larger, like something that we found on the 2311 from OA Defense. That larger design, what's nice about it is you can almost use them similar to like a gas pedal. In addition to that, if you're coming down the pistol in a stressful situation, it's easier to ultimately hit that safety and deactivate it with your thumb as you come in here. Now I think these are sufficient, however I just wish personally that they were a little bit larger. Now sensitization of the beaver tail grip safety. That on there feels good. I didn't have any issues with my C2 whenever I was shooting that, and this one I don't really think there's going to be issues with it either. We'll shoot this thing a bunch. We'll go over a few more of the other features on here, and we'll ultimately determine if this thing's worth your hard-earned dollar Or if you just save a few bucks, maybe get a Prodigy, maybe get a 2311. But until then, we're also going to have a full head-to-head comparison between this and the OA Defense 2311. But let's go shooting. We're out on the range now. We're going to shoot the Staccato P. Fort Scott was nice enough to send us out a bunch of their ammo. I have their 115 grain tumble upon impact. We have some 5.56 stuff from them. We're going to be running that stuff, using it in videos and seeing ultimately how it does. But more importantly, guys, if you want to save a few bucks, they gave us a coupon code that you can save some dollars. It's going to be HFS10. So it's HFS10 on their site. Put in there for the discount code, save a few bucks. Otherwise, let's test this stuff out. All right, first round's down range with the Staccato P, 115 grain Fort Scott munitions. Well, per usual, if you're unfamiliar with staccatos and how they shoot fantastic. It's like using a cheat code compared to your standard striker fire guns. They obviously shoot great. They frankly can take and elevate your skill set ultimately is how it feels because of how easy they are to shoot with. They just shoot really well. One thing I want to show you, come on over here, show you is that our Staccato P is obviously very dirty. It's been shot a lot, not so much cleaning. I don't know, we got probably about 1,000 rounds through it, but we're running it dirty to kind of show that these things can be reliable. They just need some good lube on them. And really, the thing it shoots good. I can tell you though, if you guys are kind of wondering about the RCR, I can't say I'm the biggest fan of it. I know obviously it's an enclosed emitter from Trijicon. It's a good dot, I'm sure. But when you're looking through this thing, to say that it's better than a regular RMR, no. And on top of that, it's got such a large like top housing. It's almost distracting in some way because of how big that is. And it's also the reason why I'm not the biggest fan of the aim-point acro, because I just don't like all that housing at the top of it. It's almost, for me, distracting. But overall, the Staccato P, no doubt about it, a fantastic shooting gun. Let's shoot this thing some more. Yeah, one thing to probably note is I probably do wish that the safeties were just slightly larger on here, or a little bit enlarged. It'd be a little easier to get that grasp, especially on a colder weather day like today, coming into the holster wearing gloves. The trigger guards on here, they are gonna be a little bit smaller, so when it's cold out and you're wearing gloved hands like today, is that coming into that trigger guard, it's gonna be a little smaller than what you're feeling like on a 320 or a Glock. Do I think it's a huge issue? No, but it's definitely something to note of if you're wearing gloves and it's cold outside, or even if it's warm out and you gotta wear gloves in a tactical type environment. That's something to take note of. I don't personally see it as an issue for myself. It's something that you'll notice though coming from a striker fire pistol to this. As you guys watch this video, if you're ever curious about everything that I'm wearing, like a kit loadout per se, whether it be hearing protection, eye protection, jacket, pants, belt, holster, whatever it might be, at the bottom of the video, if you go in the description, there's actually going to be a link to our website. You go to that website, it's going to take you to our website, and it's going to have all kinds of the links for everything on there. Some of them are affiliate links and some are not. Regardless, go out there, you can check that out, and you don't even need to ask any questions then. I'm gonna run the Staccato P now through a bill drill. We'll see how it functions. I don't think we're having issues function-wise. Coming from a striker fire gun or somebody that shoots striker fire guns, most of the time, let's say 98% of the time, frankly, I don't really see a huge difference when you're shooting these compared to like the usage factor, just because as you come down the safety, you get your master grip, and you're also turn that safety off as you come out of the holster and come down onto the gun. So it's fairly easy to do. One thing I want to walk you through now on camera is the trigger and how it functions under live fire. Triggers and how they function under live fire will feel different than ultimately how they do in a studio or just standard dry fire, because you're actually ultimately hitting that striker and it feels good. So let's show that now. So come down the safety, there's your trigger. So you'll see there's some take up there, take up. Very minor take up, a short, I don't know, maybe 1/4 of an inch. And then you're at a wall with a crisp break, defined wall. Show that reset. Super short reset, a little bit audible or tactile. And again, just a very crisp breaking trigger. Now, what I want you guys to also recognize right here is I want you to see how that recoil cycle is and ultimately how this gun tracks on target. It's very flat shooting. And also how those sights reciprocate and how I'm picking up the dot, it's never leaving that window. We're gonna run this pistol now through some movement, a little bit more quote unquote dynamic shooting. It helps always to use pistols while you're moving and see how they perform, see what the difference is, maybe the nuances of running a 2011 versus a striker fire gun. But let's get into that. One thing I want to mention is that the slide stop, slide release lever on there, although enlarged, it's still very hard for me to get with my thumb and release it with the gun, the hand that's on the gun. So I have to actually come up and hit that with my support. Not a big deal. It's fairly easy to do that. It's just something to make note of. Unless you have extra long fingers or extra large hands, it's going to be very hard for you to do on the Staccato P. So something you're used to, hitting that with your thumb on a reload, think about doing it with your support hand when you're shooting 2011. We're going to shoot the Staccato P a little bit more today. I've shot this pistol a lot. I've shot them in the past. No doubt about it, they're great pistols. I think it's a fantastic duty pistol. For myself, if I could carry one as a duty pistol, I would. They shoot really well. They can really, elevate it so you can shoot ultimately faster than what you can a striker fire gun. Granted, you need that skill set and you need the training to be there in the first place, but the Staccato P is a flat out shooter. You guys, the Staccato P is easily probably one of the finest duty pistols on the market. It is a duty gun that runs like a race gun. It shoots great, has tons of awesome features. It is an expensive pistol. These will cost you probably just over $2,500 with tax and all that stuff, and it is easily worth your money. Do I think it's for everybody? No. If you got the money to spend and you're wanting one and you're on the fence, I think you should get one. It certainly gets our seal of approval. We've joked a little bit about whether we should yeet a pistol or not yeet a pistol if we don't like it. This pistol is not on the yeet list. This one's easily one that I would love to keep in my holster. It's one that I would carry as a duty pistol, and it 100% gets our seal of approval from the Hunt, Fish, Shoot guys. So until next time, subscribe, like, comment, and share this video with your friends.